you drinking off camera? Oh, hello!
Hi. So I always drink on camera. I think people might think I'm an alcoholic.
Emily's drinking off camera, obviously, so people don't think
not
she's
only that,
an
I'm
alcoholic.
drinking a really big beer, so I thought I'd just...
Oh, it's very jittery. I'm hoping this is working tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to get the
Welcome everybody, and...
It's number 22.
Number 22. And we've had an influx of new people join us this week, so a big welcome if you're a new member to the group. If you don't know, my name is Emily, and this is my husband Alan, and we are the founders of The Outside Bride. You may or may not have also heard of the lovely Hannah who works with us. She very rarely comes on camera. She's a bit shy like that, but she's the other member of the Outside Bride team. So we all welcome you and thank you for joining us. I hope you're finding this group useful to you.
Yeah, huge thank you. So this evening, well, this is Ask an Expert Live number 22.
It is number 22. Shall we just explain what Ask an Expert is? As we have had such an influx of new people, and we've broken the 400 barrier, which is well exciting last week. We talked about that last week with our magic numbers.
Go on then. What's Ask an Expert in a nutshell?
So every week we have this session, and it's a bit tongue-in-cheek because we do have a lot of banter between us. Alan wears a lot of hideous shirts.
There's no tongue-in-cheekness. This is serious. I so happen to wear silly shirts.
But we, if you haven't already seen our backstory, we are outdoor wedding specialists, and we work in glamping especially, and we've worked in marquees and event management, and we have a wealth of experience working along with a million other different types of suppliers who work in the outdoor industry. With that, we come with a little bit of knowledge. We don't always have all of the answers. We don't like to say we're an expert in everything, but we do have a lovely bank of suppliers that we work with who are always happy to help answer any questions, specific questions that you might have if you don't have the answer. That can be anything from working out how to choose the right tent for your event, for your marquee or a teepee, or it could be what you need to ask for your caterers, power, toilets, locations, planning your site, supplier sourcing, getting contracts in place, anything at all that could be to do with you getting married in the great outdoors, and that could be again fields, gardens, vineyards, rooftop terraces, anything you like. We're the people to come and help you. So this session usually is around hopefully 20 minutes, but there's no one on just yet.
Well, there's one on.
Oh, whoever it is, say hello.
Hello.
Wave, unless it's you.
Oh yeah, it could be me. Well, I don't know if it's working properly, if I'm honest, because it's oh, it is working here.
Cool. We would happily chat away. If no one comes on, that's fine. We'll just chat away about our week. But if you do have specific questions that you're not sure about, that could be anything from what to do with table centres to something much bigger. Chuck them in the group, chuck them on this feed, before, after or during, absolutely fine, and we'll try and answer them on a weekly basis.
Hi Sam, you're right.
Hi Sam, hope you're well. Oh, we get hi.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this evening.
So Sam, as you're on with us, how are you doing this evening? Has there anything that's come up with your planning at the moment? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you can give us to start chatting about? Because otherwise,
I'll tell you what. While Sam decides and whether she's going to write anything and what to write, I can talk about something ridiculously exciting.
Go for it.
Now, it's really a shame that there's not 100 people watching, because this news, Sam, this news is so exciting. You are literally, you do know what it is. We've just written it down. You are literally the first person outside of our team of 3 plus our web guru who knows this. We have a brand new The Outside Bride.
We discussed it briefly last week.
Oh, did we? Website coming soon. Well, we may have discussed it, but I don't know whether we said it's actually going to be launched within, fingers crossed, the next few weeks. End of June we're gunning for. So very exciting. We have a brand new website and it looks simply beautiful. Same content, same fab content, real weddings, styled shoots, practical hints and tips. We've got a few more of them coming on tomorrow. So we're quite excited about all of that. But very, very, very exciting. In other news, Emily and I with our Baylily Bell Tents hats on. Hello. This is our busiest 2 weeks of the year, isn't it?
I don't know what it is this year. Whether it's because Glastonbury's having a fallow year and everyone tends to go to Glastonbury and they're not doing Glastonbury this year. Whether that's the case, I don't know. But we must have, we've got packed. I mean, from Monday, or from Friday through to the next Monday after that, so the next 10 days, we are back to back with jobs, and we've had to turn away probably about 15 weddings. So I don't know what the 23rd or 24th of June it's a great weekend, don't get me wrong.
Well,
because what's on the 23rd of June usually, Alan?
Emily, it's your birthday, darling. I do think, now I'm going to go off on a tangent, which I'm going to rein in very, very quickly. I do think, like, we're all built in to this kind of cycle, this life clock, right? And I think 23rd of June being the longest day of the year, that weekend, and Glastonbury and everything like religious, paganism, humanist, all of those kind of things, I think it's built into us to gear up for that weekend being in the middle of the summer, whether we realise it or not. Because even when Emily and I held a festival a few years back called Burger Fest, a festival for burgers.
No, Alan threw me a festival for my birthday.
Well, that was the point. It happened to be on that weekend, which was also your birthday. So I gave you a festival for your birthday.
It was nothing to do about me at all. It was all about you and your birthday.
Sam, it was a true sign of true love that I gave my wife a festival about burgers for her birthday. Would you like it if your husband did that for you, or husband to be?
Or wife to be, we don't know.
Or wife to be, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so sorry. It's built into us all to be wrong on those things. So anyway, new website coming ridiculously soon.
It's looking lovely, isn't it?
It does look lovely. You know what, I nearly said the holding domain name then. Honestly, I just nearly went, if you want to have a look, go here. And I was like, no, you can't. No. Sorry.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah. So yeah, we were just talking about the new website coming soon. Busiest 2 weeks of Baylily Bell Tents. We've got a couple of questions we've taken out of the group this week that we thought we'd... Oh, I know what we do first. Let's just point out the real wedding... the real wedding blog. Sorry, I got confused because Hannah's saying hi as the outside bride, not Hannah, and it really threw... Nothing wrong with it, it just threw me. Yeah, so hopefully you've all gone and had a look at the latest blog, The Real Wedding in the Castle. Who fancies getting married in a castle in the Alps?
I wouldn't say no. Nice fresh air.
Yeah, nice. I have a bit of a thing for the Alps. It's an obvious thing. I quite like the mountains and the Alps, and that part of Europe I find fascinating.
Hannah actually did a poll on our Insta stories this week about people who choose to get married at home and people who choose to get married abroad. There was one person in it. It was like 49-51 on the percentages.
What's your choice?
I'm a home girl. I'm a Cancerian, so we're home girls. I love being at home, but now we've been married and we've done the whole shebang, I would have no issue if I was to get married again to my second husband, getting married abroad, maybe on a beach, or maybe in the Alps look beautiful, or just somewhere just the two of us, really. I think I'd be happy to do that.
In all fairness, I mean, we've told this story 1,000 times, but we got married in Swanage, because I'm from Andover, if those who know it, and Emily's from Southampton, and they're both a bit rubbish. So what we did was we chose somewhere we both like. I forgot to laugh. Gary's come, and we know Gary, and we're discussing our wedding again. So yeah.
Gary, hurry up and get married.
So we got married in Swanage because we didn't. So really, is there any real difference between going to a random town in England compared to going abroad, ignoring the logistics? But I don't think there is any real.
I find it quite
difference.
interesting in how people pick their venues, actually, because I will pick Sylvie, who's in this group actually. Sylvie and Drew are getting married in Hampshire. They're getting married just outside of Winchester, actually, and they are both, I think, North London. So you're almost choosing a destination to get your wedding outside of where you live. And I was wondering, actually, as to pose a question, how many people in this group who are getting married in the next couple of years or so are getting married in their hometown, or how many people have chosen somewhere completely different in the country if they are getting married in the UK?
I think if you're not getting married in your hometown, it doesn't matter whether you're home or abroad.
No.
Does that make sense? So, yeah, if we weren't going to get married in Southampton or Andover, it makes no difference whether we get married in the Alps, Barbados or Swanage.
Apart from the flight.
Apart from the flights. Or Vegas, obviously.
Do we have anyone getting married in Vegas?
It's an outdoor wedding.
You can get married outside in Vegas.
I don't actually think you can. See this?
Anywhere.
Rather than admitting she was wrong, this is Emily here. Emily doesn't like to admit when she's wrong. She just throws another bit of information at us. And no, you don't. I don't think you can get married out. I haven't been to Vegas, so that makes me 100% more of an expert on Vegas than Yao. You're wrong.
Okay.
Right, moving on. But funnily enough, we haven't had a domestic today in a woodland outside Reddit. Yes, actually, I do remember that. unless that's Reading, not Reading, but I think that Woodland outside. Oh, Woodland outside Reading. I'm so sorry.
It's been a really long day.
It has been a long day. Oh, our 7-month-old's teething. It's been a long day, parents. Right.
Then the other thing,
I've thrown myself now. First of all, I finished my beer, so I'm upset about that.
we
Plus,
started
it's
our
gone.
beers at the same time.
Oh dear me.
So the other thing, and I apologise because I didn't.
I've gone.
Yeah.
Over to you. Over to you.
It's been a really, really, really long day.
It has been a long day.
The other thing we discussed, and I'm apologising because I was meant to put a poll in this group this week, but the week just escaped with me, is last week we talked a little bit about being more eco-friendly in your weddings, and I think Charlotte, let me just double
Charlotte
check.
Brooke, yes.
Was it Charlotte who wrote about it?
I wrote it down.
Charlotte was talking about glassware at her wedding. And
No, Charlotte was talking about her ceremony.
So who was talking about glassware?
Well, I don't know. I'll find out. You keep talking. I'll find out.
Alan will find out who the bride was. But we were talking about their caterers have told them that they have to get plastic glassware for the evening because of the cost of hiring glasses and breakages in a field that would be difficult to clear up. And what they could use is more if their wedding is more recyclable throughout the day, what they can do as an alternative. Which was a really good question, and we've had a little bit of a think on it this week. You're right, looking at welly boots. Sylvie has also put a picture about welly boots in the thread today, and there's been a lot of photos coming up about different styles now. But some really good conversation started from that thread, which we're going to pick up on today.
Millie Chenery,
I think.
Chenery.
So Millie wrote about glasses. We also touched upon the lovely Josh, who is a supplier who's actually in this group, who is a mobile bar company based in Salisbury, and they are priding themselves on the fact that their whole menu, their drinks menu, is not the entire menu, has vegan elements to it, so that's good for vegans and vegetarians, but also their glassware and all of their products they use for their drink service is fully recyclable and biodegradable, which is insanely awesome. And I think more and more companies, if you do some digging, are finding these products to use and starting to swap out. We already know about straws, and I think it's an amazing thing that people are swapping out plastic straws for paper or not using them at all, because ultimately they're bad for your teeth as well.
Yeah.
But things you could consider. I know the idea of using glass is not ideal because of breakages, but if you could look at things like people often use kilner jars and things like that, and jam jars, which is slightly thicker glass, you could almost do, as I managed a wedding a couple of years ago, they had kilner jars and they had etched everyone's name as their favour. So their favour was their glass with their name and the date of the wedding in it, and people were a bit more inclined to keep hold of it and to look after it because it was a gift. And that chunkier glass is also better because if it does drop, it bounces a bit more than it would if it was a thin, like champagne flute, which might just shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, which is not cool in an outdoor environment, is it?
And literally, the cost of those kind of jars and stuff, and you can get them with the handles already put on them now. The cost of those jars, when they first started, it was quite niche.
No, they were
expensive. So expensive. We looked at them for our wedding for a little bit, and it was going to cost us like £1,000 in glasses, but actually you can get them for pence per piece now.
Is reusable plastic allowed?
Yeah, it has to be environmentally friendly.
Okay, so that's like no BPA or something like that, is it? I'm just thinking of like our pineapple.
It's single-use plastic.
Yeah, single-use plastic. Because it's tricky because we've got a couple of things here. Because technically glass is okay because it's reusable,
it's the
but we don't like glass in outdoor weddings. So then that takes us to reusable plastic, but ultimately that's still plastic, but it's reusable. And you can get some nice plastic reusables. I mean, our pineapple, technically I think they're a martini glass, aren't they? They're quite nice, and our yellow goblets are mildly interesting.
But then you have to scale that up to 100.
Yeah.
So
no,
it gets quite
not,
costly.
It does.
Anything where I would say you can get your guests to hold on to their glass, and I know that's not always ideal for some people, but if you're getting bottles...
DIY brides, what about some paper origami cups? Was that the most ridiculous idea ever?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I accept that feedback. Even though we don't say that to each other in our relationship.
Shut up.
Keep talking.
So yeah, think about just a bit more outside the box, and it doesn't have to be a jar or a jam, because that's quite rustic.
Outside the box, we had a party. Well, this is true. We had a party once where the drinking vessel was teapots. Everyone had to bring a teapot to drink out of. So you could literally You shaking your head? Well, I don't think that's as bad as you
We also
think.
went to a party where you had to bring the most unusual things to drink out, and you drank out of a U-bend.
Oh, did I drink out of a U-bend? Oh, yeah, I remember that. So
back in the days when we were fun.
Pre-kids, pre-marriage, all of that malarkey.
Before you were 40.
I'm not 40 yet. Keep going. You're off track now. Shut up.
Yes, I touched on it last week as well. So other eco-friendly things to think about. Or what's Sam putting? I know you spoke about rubbish before.
Do you know what, Sam? My opinion.
How do you have recycle stations?
Recycle stations is very different to rubbish. So general rubbish, we would be tempted to have out the back of the marquee with some like rush matting around it if you choose, if you can still see it. When it comes to recycle stations, recycling's almost cool. This is about having a green wheelie bin and a whatever colour wheelie bin with a big sign on saying glass in here, plastic in here. Emily and I are very passionate about being... It's really tricky because ultimately we're not 100%, but we do try our hardest within the...
To make thoughtful choices.
Yeah. So, and I think putting a couple of, even if... I'm trying to think of something a bit cool.
You've got to think about the waste you're going to generate on a wedding site on the day, because ultimately your food is going to be plated, hopefully, or if it's buffet style, so you're going to have chinaware if you've gone for dinner service. That should be cleared away by your caterer. That will be taken away. You might have a bit of confetti. You might have disposable cutlery if you're going down that route, although again it's plastic. You're going to have glassware. You're going to have glassware from beer bottles, from champagne bottles.
I think I would get some... I'm trying to think outside the box, and I kept stopping at a wheelbarrow, which is not the right idea. But 3 metal old-fashioned dustbins with big signs on, glass, plastic, general waste, and ask whoever's staffing your event, whether that be your catering company or someone else, to empty them, empty the black bags. So at least if they're in a black bag and can be taken away, then when it gets to recycling, you can open the black bag, so to speak.
Really think about what the waste is that you're going to generate, because it's going to be different from event to event, because you might be bringing it all to site and having to dispose of it from site. If you're doing all your decorations yourself and you want to not take them home with you, you're going to bin them at the end of it, paper pom-poms and all that kind of stuff, then yes, you'll need to think about what your getting rid of rubbish situation is going to be. If it's just going to be glass from the beers and stuff, and a little bit of crockery kind of stuff, then yes, get some bins and sort it out that way as well. But I've lost my train of thought. Do it cleverly. You don't have to worry about...
Our pleasure. She said thank you.
I
think that's code for shut up.
But also, if you're going to be further afield, again, I'm keep using Sylvie because I'm helping with her day in August anyway. But they're hiring a skip in and getting that skip removed, because it's going to be easier than doing shuttles.
I mean, I know we have no issues recovering topics because we've always got different people watching. But I know for our wedding, sorry for bringing it up, like our ushers and best men, or grooms team or whatever they're called, they all ended up going to the local tip in the hire van on the day after, which we hadn't thought about. We hadn't thought about the literally mountain of waste. Bear in mind we had 1,000 bottles of beer at our wedding, as well as everything else, which we brought home 600. We had a mountain of waste, and we had not factored in getting rid of it. It didn't enter our mind, did it? And so my ushers, bless them, and I will thank them forever. They ended up, hungover, wanting to just go home, to ending up filling up a van full of rubbish and going to get rid of it all and recycling it all. So, it's on the list of, you might not have thought about this, but this is going to cost you some time or money. So definitely worthwhile asking that question.
Brilliant. Cool.
I think, unless there's anything pressing, I think rather than us waffling for the sake of it, I think let's wrap it up this week. We promised we're going to do a backdrop.
Yes, we are. Hannah put a poll in, which one of them included a paper crane backdrop. If nobody could pick that one, that'd be great.
Shall I have a quick look who's winning the polls?
Yeah. So we are going to do a real-time video making a backdrop, because you've all talked about how fantastic these backdrops in our blogs have been.
Honestly, everything we do, the backdrops get the love.
Yeah,
I can't find the poll, actually. Where's the poll? It was definitely in this group and not the other Outdoor Wedding Supplier Network.
So we're going to put a poll in anyway, and the winning poll may influence our decision which one we make. We might be doing a naked teepee tripod and decorating that for you to see, so you can see how easy it is to do. There might be something a bit more inventive, but we'll...
I'll tell you what, sorry, rehashing an old poll, hog roast or barbecue absolutely smashed on the catering, like 3 times second place. Can't find the poll for the moment. There's no sorting for poll in a group, is there?
Well, we'll find it again.
Yeah, we'll find it. But we are going to do a live one. I think we planned to do it and then realised it was our busiest 2 weeks of the year, so it hasn't quite happened. But we will. Well, when I say we, Emily and possibly Hannah, depending on what day of the week we do it, will be doing a live backdrop.
We will be.
Boom, boom. I feel like that's a drop the mic moment. A live backdrop. Right, that's it. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight.
Thanks very much, guys.
I feel like we've been a little bit laissez-faire and away with the fairies tonight. A little bit like last day of term giggly, but trust us, that's just to do with... you don't want to know.
We have counted 136 duvets today.
Oh, it's been
That's how rock and roll our day
it's been a very random day between counting duvets and screaming children because of teething and other reasons. Right, that's it. You don't want to know about our kids. They're asleep. That's fab. But I miss them already. Anyway, night. Thank you very much. See you soon in the group. Bye.